Hayden Matthews is completing his recuperation at home in Australia, and he's shown up on a fantastic podcast run by the United by Football podcast people. Take a listen. This is him talking about coming to Pompey.
There's noise, there's things going on in the background, and I'm kind of grateful we had a busy schedule because I didn't even have time to worry about it. It was one of those things where it didn't.
But you were aware of the noise.
Yeah,
Central Coast.
That's the one. Central Coast at home.
4-1.
Yeah.
And then Wellington.
And then it was the night after the Brisbane game. Obviously, annoying loss, frustrating, and I get a call that night, obviously, from my agent, basically saying the deal's been agreed. Pretty much there'll be more contact on what the plan is to go forward. And obviously then I flew over, I think 3 or 4 days later, but then there's obviously that feeling, it's like mixed emotions, obviously, with leaving my boyhood club. The way I ended up leaving, obviously on the back of a 4-3 loss at home to the team that hadn't won a game all season.
Doesn't look good.
It's not that it doesn't look good, but it's like, that's my last memory as a Sydney FC player. And it's not the best one. Which is a little bit annoying, but it was a massive opportunity, and I was super excited for it to be done and to get my chance to go over and prove myself. And I was on a plane 3 or 4 days later after speaking to the manager on a call, and landed Thursday morning, so the 23rd. Visa appointment that night, medical the next day, and the boys were playing in West Brom, so up in Birmingham, roughly on the Saturday.
Wow.
Did a bit of running Saturday. Sunday was off. Monday was -1 session. First time meeting all the boys, and then Tuesday I was starting.
Yeah, I remember that.
How was that? So from a -1 session, finding out you're starting.
I didn't know I was starting.
No,
-1
on game day.
No. So I wasn't meant to start.
Okay.
And then on match day, one of the boys fell ill.
Yep.
So I got a call, basically being like, you're starting.
How were you in that moment, headspace? Like, that's
obviously it's a bit of a shock. You kind of like, you look around, you're like,
I've just met these people.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't even know everyone's names. Like,
that's so true.
Like
number 44, number 5.
Yeah, like I went out there and was obviously it was just, this is probably about 5-6 hours before the game, and I'm just thinking there like, okay, no, like it's good that I didn't have the time to think about it. I think it was literally all about getting myself ready for the game, and I didn't even hardly even thought about the game, and did my normal prep, got ready for the game as I always would. At the end of the day, it's still football, still a game of football. So I prepared the same way. Get to the ground, the gaffer speaks to me, he pulls me, he's like, there's no expectation here. Like, you don't know the system, we know that.
Yeah.
Go out there and just play. Wow. He's like, trust your instincts, play, like, just go out and play. Do like, play to your strengths. Do what you feel comfortable and necessary to try and get the win.
Play? Is that comforting? That's reassuring. I'm assuming.
Very comforting. It gives you confidence. You feel like you can go out there and play off instinct. Really, you don't overthink things. You don't like, if he had given me so much information about this player's going to do this, I go into the game thinking about everything else that can happen in a football, and I don't actually worry about what I do as a footballer. So obviously went out. We lost 1-0, unfortunately, but I think I didn't have my best game ever. But I was all right. Like, I got through the game. My legs were going. I hadn't slept properly before this game. Obviously, the time difference was 11 hours at this point.
Wow.
And so I'd hardly slept. I just moved into my flat like the day before, so it was everything was going. Fast. It happened so quickly that I'm almost grateful I didn't have the time to think about it. And then after that, I just wanted more.
I remember, Instagram and Twitter and all of that after, straight away, and the Pompey fans got onto it. They really, they welcomed you with open arms. And my only thing, though, is as a player, and obviously neither of us are professional players.
Can you clarify?
How do you deal with all the Twitter and Instagram stuff?
I don't see it. I don't look at it.
Yeah.
It's hard to stay away from it, like, because family look at it, friends look at it, things happen. But from what I've seen, the overarching theme has been pretty positive towards me. The reception's been quite good. Obviously, when I first joined, and I saw a couple ones that were like, "Who's this kid?" Like, obviously unproven kid. I can understand. I completely understand the skepticism, and I think, me personally, you just can't take it to heart.
Correct.
Like, I I know when I've played bad and I know when I've played good.
Yeah.
So just reading someone's tweet about me isn't going to change the way I feel about a game. And if I come off the pitch disappointed, then in the way I played, like an extra tweet is just not going to affect that.
Look, it's very much as well. I remember at the time there was this page. It was like a Pompey Aussie page or whatever it is, and it was flicking through. UBF doesn't necessarily have Twitter, but like they have an account, so we kind of we see what's going on and stuff there. Twitter is one of those places where you don't want to engage in back and forth because it gets very rough in there. But generally, a lot of the Aussie fans were very much like, "You've got a good one." And I
not even Aussie has. I would add to fans in general. I think the Pompey fans have really
Well, Pompey fans are. These guys are different. Like honestly, next level. Like every single person pretty much in Portsmouth is a Pompey fan, and like they love the club, properly love the club with everything they have. Like follow them. Like our away end, we went to Sheffield United, Bramall Lane. Our away end was louder than the home fans.
So compare a sold-out Sydney derby to that away end. How does it work?
So the away end of a Sydney derby would probably have a bigger allocation than our away end. Our away end's normally, I think it's around 2,000 or 10% of the stadium.
So then a home Sydney derby compared to a home Pompey game.
Yeah, it's
different.
It's different because there's not ultras. In a way, like there's like a main end where the noise comes from, but everyone in the stadium, like it properly echoes throughout the whole stadium. Everyone in the stadium singing for pretty much 90 minutes. Like it is loud. It is really loud in there, and the stadium, like you're on top of everything. Everything's nice and close. It's amazing, and Pompey fans are known for being one of the best. And that was one of the things that I was told when I went over there. Like I went over there expecting a lot, and it's still managed to exceed my expectations.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's good. And there's a few Aussies there.
That makes it easy.
Have you found that? So obviously, going in, there's a few Aussies there. In terms of your settling process, obviously, languages. Thank God, the language is the same. But in terms of actually getting in there, getting a couple of the boys, they introduce you to their mates, makes it a lot easier. I'm assuming, doesn't it?
Definitely. Well, obviously, Waddingham pretty much went over at the same time as me. Cassini was already there, and I knew him from the Socceroos camp I was in, and Jacob Farrell I actually had never met or spoken to, but I'd heard he was a really good guy.
Great guy.
Through people, so it helped having Waddingham on like the same path as me. Literally landed in the country maybe like 3-4 days before me. Okay. And just that makes that easier, having someone who you can relate to at all times. And then obviously having the two other Aussies there that were settled and good mates with the boys and similar ages. Obviously Cassini's a little bit older, but Faz is 2 years older than me and Waddingham's a year younger than me. Yeah. So us three have kind of been spending a lot of time together away from football. And even though I didn't know them going into it, like, I don't know, it's just that comfortability, you know, similar humour, similar way of saying, like talking about things to talk about, like the rugby league. There's similar interests. You can talk about the A-League as well. Like we'd all be watching it, give each other a shit about
Brisbane Mariners.
None of us had many bragging rights this year over there when we were talking about games, but it was good. And you talk about games like I played against both of them. Yeah. And you go back to last year's semi-final against Faz where I'd tell him we were robbed. And actually, you know the clip where...
To be fair, we were.
The clip where the assistant manager gets sent off and he flips the camera off?
Yeah.
You realise that was me pushing Faz over. And that was the reason and there was no foul given, and that was the reason that...
poetic.
Yeah. Now they're together. And obviously, what's his name? Schofield. Obviously, Mark Jackson and Schofield are both English as well. So all the boys in the UK had seen this clip. They've all seen it.
Like, it's you.
And we're like... You realise that was us.
What's the name? Oh, that's that guy.
I insist it was a bit of a dive, but...
Still to this day, we don't know. Is that right?
Exactly. All I know, a foul wasn't given.
We will.
The following results unfolded.
Hey, some would say it should have been a victory versus Sydney final last year.
I do think so, but
you know, to bring a bit of a sad note to a really enlightening topic. We know, obviously, the injury unfolded, and how has the club been for you in terms of your recovery and your goals and aspirations with the club in line for next year?
Well, the main attraction for me at the club was obviously it's a club with amazing history and fans, as I was told, going there. But the coaching staff there are all young, progressive. Gaffer was a centre half. our assistant was a centre half, and our other assistant was a fullback. Yep. So it's obviously not a defensive-minded coaching staff, but there's a lot to learn. Yeah. You've got players that have played Premier League, Championship, League One. There's so much to learn from these coaches, and they want to play young players. They want to play good football. Obviously, when I went there, we were in a bit of a relegation battle, so it was all about being pragmatic and getting results, because that's the most important thing. Yeah, it's stay up. But the already little things I've learned off them have been like, it's been so helpful, and I feel like I've already developed as a player in the short amount of time and the limited amount of training I actually did before I got injured. And since the injury, they've been really good. Always saying hello, asking how it's going. Physio staff have been amazing, S&C, everything. And then next season, I'm just trying to get fit for pre-season now. Yep. I feel like I'm playing catch up a little bit. Obviously, having only just started running really like 3-4 weeks ago. Yep. But I feel good. Ankle feels good.
When does pre-season start?
The back end of June. Okay. So I head back in about 2 weeks, and then I'm there a bit before pre-season with the physios before we can get back in with the boys.
Good. Yeah. And talk to us a bit about Josh Murphy.
Oh, mate. What a player.
Obviously, his brother plays for Newcastle. I was looking over here. He's had 7 goals, 14 assists. He started the 40 out of the 42 matches that he's played in.
Wow.
An absolute stalwart of the league as well. But you know, it's very hard, and we've talked to a few different, like we were at Grenville earlier today chatting to Garluccio's brother, Carluccio, who plays out at Grenville Rage. It's very hard having a sibling playing the same sport in a higher league. What's it like playing with him? And, you know,
well, they're twins.
Yeah.
So they're identical twins. And obviously for them growing up, I think that's massive. Yeah. I grew up with an older brother, and I was super, super competitive with him. I always wanted to beat him. And I definitely think that's helped me get... you grow up playing against someone who's 2 years older, bigger physically.
Yeah.
You learn ways to win, and you want to win. It gives, like, you just have that drive. And I'm sure having a brother like that, they would have been super competitive growing up.
Yeah.
And I know they still are now. They like have like a... they keep tallies of their goal contributions, and they compare against each other. And... Josh Murphy's had an unbelievable career. Like, he signed for Cardiff back in the Prem for something like 10 million, I think it was almost.
Was that 18, 19, 19, 20 when they were?
17, 18, I would think.
It was with Norwich.
To start with.
A bit Milton, Norwich, Cardiff, Preston, Cardiff, Oxford, Portsmouth.
So I think his second stint at Cardiff, there was a pretty big transfer fee.
Yeah.
And I think... He didn't have the best season, but he's very settled where he is now. And honestly, like, he is so fast. He's lightning quick. Could go both ways. Because if you let him on his left, he crosses the ball in, and we've got a good number 9 who's good at heading the ball and good at scoring from crosses. Yeah. If he cuts in on his right, he absolutely whips one top bins.
Put it this way. It's very much, I think it's Bishop that's up front.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
No, he's that team's looking good. Now, I was hoping you guys would make the Premier League and that we could be like, you know, Header Matthews left to go play in the Premier League. But you've escaped relegation this year. Finished 16th, I believe.
Yeah, 16th.
What's Portsmouth's aspirations going into next year?
I think within the group, there's a lot of belief. From the minute I got there, I knew no one in the group thought we were going down. There was never even a thought about it. Like, everyone was at that point where obviously we were in it and in and around it, and we knew what we had to do to get out of it. But I think everyone had the belief that we'd find a way, and I think we more than comfortably found a way. And it was all that comes down to the mentality of the team and everything. And I don't think any of us ever wavered from that thought.
Yeah.
And going into next season, I think there's even more belief.
Yeah.
I think we've proven to ourselves from December 1, I believe we're 7th on the championship table.
Wow.
That's a large portion of the season.
Absolutely.
And
it was a poor start you had,
Yeah.
It was a poor
if we can continue that moving forward, going into next year, just I don't see why we can't be in and around the playoffs.
Yeah. And
I really don't see why we can't.
The last one, you touched on it before with the injury. The Pompey fans were, I remember after that game, it was man of the match. He was, you know, the comments section was flying and they really enjoyed having you around. What's the message to the Pompey fans? Because I think
from you personally,
like, what's one thing that you could leave with them, you know, given the reaction that they had towards you and the way they've made you feel?
Yeah, just a massive thank you, really. They've been amazing. Like, really warm reception. As soon as I arrived at the club, I felt welcomed and accepted into a big club. obviously with I guess a lot of expectation as well. And I feel like I've come in and it's helped me perform. It's massively helped me perform. And I mean, we all do it for them at the end of the day. They are the club. They are the heart and soul of the club. So when I was injured and we had no subs left and there was 10 minutes to go in the game, up 2-1, there was no question in my mind that I was staying on that pitch.
Yeah.
As soon as I knew we had no subs, I hear the gaffer screaming at me, and then the captain comes over and I'm like, he's screaming at me to get up because the ball was in play. And then the goes out for a throw and I sit down, and the captain comes over. He's like, we don't have any subs left. Like, he's like, can you play on? And this is like the 88th minute, 7 minutes injury time.
Oh, fuck.
Sticks me up top.
Oh my days! He's on a Harry Maguire.
Yeah. He's the running behind. Here we go.
Yeah. And I knew straight away my ankle was done. Like I could tell straight away. I was like, there's ligaments that are not in the right place straight away. But after that, I was like, I just have to suck it up.
Adrenaline kicks in.
Yeah. I was like, it's all like, I have to do what I can to get. If we hadn't have won the game, I would have been absolutely heartbroken. But I was up top, and I was the only thing I remember from like our team talk was like, don't let anything on your inside shoulder is like the lot they work with. So I was literally like trying my best to show them outside. I could not run. Got through the game. As soon as the game was done, I sat down, booed off. I was like,
foot looked like a balloon.
Yeah. And I think that definitely helped with the reception from the fans as well. I saw a lot of positive comments, and I got so many messages from every single fan just wishing me well.
Amazing.
And saying, I guess, thank you in a way for putting my heart on the line. But for me, it was without a doubt that was something I had to do. Yeah. As soon as I knew there was no subs left, I was like, I'm staying on this pitch.
Yeah. Someone say that players do find their clubs.
Look, they do.
Maybe Hayden Matthews meant for Portsmouth.
Yeah, but we still love him in Sydney. We don't exile our players and wish the worst upon them.
We don't either. We don't.
We could speak to a few of them.
Me personally, anyway.
Yeah.
Hayden, before we go, I just wanted to ask you any PG/M stories that you could share in the locker room of Portsmouth that are quite funny that you could share to our viewers. I know there's probably a plethora that you could find.
Is one of them, so do you ever call Connor O'Shag Hennessy?
Shocknessy.
O'Shag Hennessy?
Sometimes it's called Shaggers, yeah.
Shaggers.
Anyway, I better start with that.
His main name would be Shocks, because Shocknessy is the Irish. I'm not sure.
Shocknessy.
Yeah.
Shocknessy is bad.
Stories.
Have we got one, Hayden? Can we press you for one?
I'm just trying to think. I don't really have one. No, not that I can share. Nah. To be fair, it's a really good group. There's a lot of banter that goes on in there.
We were speaking to Martin and Luke 2 weeks ago, and they were saying also that dressing room and the banter with the boys inside the dressing room for the 30 or 40 minutes after training, before training, that is arguably sometimes better than the football itself.
Yeah, sometimes it is.
What is it about being in and around a bunch of boys similar to your age that is just a universal experience that you can't really... What is it?
You can't really explain it. Like I don't know, everyone has their release from football and things like that, and having a laugh with your mates has to be up one of the best. And when you spend as much time as we do with a group, like we're training most days of the week, traveling up and down the country, I don't know, it's just something about it. Like, you've spent so much time with, pretty much everything about everyone. And obviously sometimes you can say some things that get personal, they get a reaction out of the boys, but I think everyone knows it's lighthearted. No one takes it to heart. I think that's one of the best things. It's a really good group of lads at Portsmouth, and it's again made that transition easier. And obviously England and Australia, England banter is probably a little bit better, but it's not too dissimilar.
What about the food?
Oh, do we love what is it called?
The food's better here.
Right.
Really?
Abdul, they have no food.
Really?
What is English food to you?
Yeah, like sausage.
That's Aussie.
Mash.
Bangers and mash.
What's it called? The little pieces of bread. The
croutons.
No.
Italian,
what are they called? The little things they put the gravy in and
crumpets.
No.
Scones.
No, it's called like a something. Oh my god, Birmingham, whatever it's called. Hold on.
I have no idea. That's
Hold on.
4 hours away. I have no idea what you're talking about.
English.
What about music? The music game.
Music in the change room is actually not too dissimilar. A bit of house.
Who's DJ?
Normally the Skip does it.
Normally Skip?
Yeah.
Have you had any moments where you think, oh, fuck, the FC music was a bit better than
No. It's actually been really good.
Yorkshire pudding.
Oh, Yorkshire pudding, yeah. Okay.
That goes off, but I've had it before. It's actually really nice.
Yeah,
Big
but
thing on?
No, I used to work with an English chick. They used to bring to it.
I don't know. Just
Mate, you can't beat a bit of
Australian food, but like obviously Australia doesn't really have a food. But because we have so many different cultures here,
Correct.
like there is so many different cuisines within Australia, which you can. It doesn't really happen over there as much.
It's a bit more. It's the same but different. Have you had a squeeze bag?
No, I have not.
That sounds like something that is weird.